Inside here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
thoughts, trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a wall. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
Beast Mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Safety gonna give themselves a big old 4K. Oh. 50 getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga Fort is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Blue manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy, popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the 8? They get the 8. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Console Gaming League, where tonight it is our losers finals. Winner goes on to take on Short Bus in the grand finals. Tonight, though, we have YE Snowfall versus Mental Institution, a rematch of the upper bracket semifinals where YE Snowfall was able to come out on top of that one, 3-1. So Mental Institution looking for some revenge here tonight. I'm Dextron. That is To Try Hard Ray. I mean, we have a great series on our hands here tonight. 2 of the best teams in this tier going up against each other to try to get a piece of Short Bus.
Couldn't agree with you more. Both teams have had their shortcomings against Short Bus. Mental Institution lost to them in the finals of the mid-season tournament, and Snowfall lost to them in the winners finals. And Mental Institution actually got knocked to the lowers by YE Snowfall. So there's a lot of different revenge angles. Both teams want to make it to the grand finals to get revenge, but Mental Institution has a revenge story against Snowfall specifically. So we're going to have to see if Mental Institution was able to make the requisite changes. We are in a slightly different meta. I mean, we had some tank changes, so maybe that plays into their favor. I'm not sure, but what I'm for sure is this is going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, especially when we pull up the graphic here. I mean, you can see it get whittled down here piece by piece by piece. The largest bracket in, I believe, across any of the CGL tiers right now is this one. And now we are down to the final 3 teams. And like we've already kind of said here, Ray, these are the top 3 teams all season long. I believe Short Bus and Mental Institution from Group 1 and YE Snowfall from Group 2 being the top team there. So it's not necessarily a surprise to see these teams here, but it's also just very interesting when you look at the entire journey for these teams here. Short Bus, I mean, they played 3 games and won all 3 of them, but YE Snowfall did give them a little bit of a run for their money there in that upper finals.
So it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments these teams have made and how well they have acclimated to the current meta we are in. I saw that 5-map banger on stream between Short Bus and YE Snowfall. It was absolutely insane. So I am waiting to see how both of these teams come into this matchup, both wanting to make it to those grand finals, because there's money on the line. I mean, even if you don't end up winning, I believe you still get a 2nd place prize for money. So I mean, at the end of the day, at least you're going to get something if you win this match.
Yeah, you'll get something, which is huge, but still top 3 in this tier, considering how competitive this tier was, especially this season, is not a small feat. I mean, the 4th place team coming in this one, Potato Pillagers, didn't make it out of the first round in the lower bracket. They struggled in this playoffs here after being one of the more dominant teams in the regular season. It just shows you how competitive this tier is. But I mean, like you already kind of brought up a little bit here, right? We're still trying to figure out the meta right now. That patch came out on Tuesday. Yeah, there's been there's been calling all heroes going on, and you're seeing teams slowly come to like a strong what is meta and what isn't meta. But what I like seeing right now is the amount of variety we're seeing at a lot of different roles.
Yeah, and we've talked about it in a lot of previous broadcasts with the open map pool after map 1. It leaves a lot of gamesmanship to be played. If we're a dive team, we can take them to dive maps. Doesn't matter. Push isn't a guaranteed, third map or whatever. You can basically take them wherever you please to try and get momentum back in your favor. So that's always something we're going to have to keep in mind, that, the first map may go the way it does, but you can't rely on that for the entire series because they have so much agency with their map picks.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, we can talk about maps a little bit later. Why don't we introduce you to the teams that are playing here tonight? First off, starting off with Mental Institution, Galaxy and Smurfing on that DPS line, capping Crunch, your tank, Water and Complex, this support line. Ray, I mean, you could talk about every one of these individual players here highly, all of them across the board. They are all incredible at what they do, the roles they play, but as a unit, one of the scariest I've ever seen.
One thing does need to be said. Galaxy and Smurfing have had their time playing the DPS, but Water is also one of their DPS extraordinaires, is on the support role right now. So that is going to be one thing to keep in mind, is how is that going to play out in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. But there are a lot of subs on both these two teams. I believe Mental Institution has 5, and YE Snowfall has either 5 or 6. So we could be seeing a lot of substitutions in and out throughout this entire series. But going over to the other side of YE Snowfall, coming to this losers finals from the uppers finals, you have Raven and Turtle Boy on your DPS line, Zen on your tank, Paradox and Teggy on that support line. And Ray, I mean, I watched that 5-map series against Short Bus. Everyone on this team popped off, but Zen was one that I was just absolutely surprised with their performance. They were insane that series.
And that's going to be the big question, is being able to carry the momentum of success that you had despite ending up losing, to have a dominating effort like that, to be able to take the loss on the chin, come in and play just as well in order to re-punch your ticket back for a rematch, is what you got to do at this point. So we're going to have to see if they can carry that same energy into this matchup. For this matchup, it does have to start someplace. And I don't think anyone had this on our bingo card. We do know what our first map is going to be. I come back from, being in the other room, and they tell me Samoa's our first map. Like, excuse me? When do we ever go to Samoa as our first map?
Yeah, we were kind of guessing what would be our first map before the series got started, before players were even in lobby. No one mentioned Samoa. I think we all forgot it existed. We just don't see it that often anymore, especially because there's not a lot of variety in compositions. Normally with a lot of the control maps, you see some variety, but there's not that like heavy dive point in Samoa that you would normally see in other ones here. A lot of them are mostly rush or kind of brawl playstyles. You could play poke a little bit on beach, but you're going to be seeing a lot of Malga or possibly Orisa here,
which is going to make this series interesting. I had a hunch as soon as I saw the patch notes that we'd be in a meta where you play Orisa, Brig, Juno, and Sojourn as you're always going to play these 4, and then your 5th one was always kind of like an option for where you go. As we see Mental Institution lining up in exactly that, my guess is Galaxy will go over to that Tracer once, they throw out that TP. For the side of YE Snowfall, I don't like to talk about competitions getting debated, but I have been seeing a decent amount of Diva played, so I don't think it's necessarily a debate. Yeah, it looks like it isn't. They are going to roll out on that. I'm not a huge fan of the Cassidy over the Sojourn. I'm curious how that's going to play out.
I don't necessarily hate the Cass over the Sojourn. Yeah, Soj is incredibly strong right now, but still 2 taps are possible with the Cass. But as we talk about that, Smurfing immediately gets rid of the Cass in question there. Already going back to the spawn is Raven, but again, Mental Institution taking this first fight here very quickly as YE Snowfall just decides to fall back and wait for their fallen comrade.
Yeah, and that's exactly why. I mean, there's nothing against how they were playing, as we already see the immediate swap over to the Sojourn does Raven go. So I think that's already a big statement that we're probably going to see Sojourn all night long.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the statement right there, yeah. Sojourn is just, like I said, incredibly strong at the moment. Zendo on this D.Va is the one outlier across the two teams. They're going to have to be doing a lot here, diving in. They cannot just focus on Captain Crunch. They have to focus in on that backline, but Captain Crunch gets very low right there. Zen able to take him out with those micro missiles, and if you're Mental Institution, that might just be enough here to really force you back, especially with pressure coming out there from Zen. Turtle Boy throws out the pulse bomb, not going to be able to find anything there, but they are in control of the point.
Yeah, Turtle Boy is farming on this Tracer. I mean, was able to get that pulse bomb way before Galaxy, despite how that first fight went, and Raven gets the exiting pick onto Smurfing. This is the kind of momentum you need for Snowfall. Getting late picks, just getting 3 percentage points without having to really commit anything at all.
And Turtle Boy able to keep themselves alive right there, grabbing that large health pack. Now going to be able to regroup up with their team here, especially as Mental Institution looks to try to get something going back here. They have some ultimates at play, and they might have to use something here very quickly, but YE Snowfall has a couple good ultimates on their side. But you already see the Orbital Ray countered out by the Overclock on the other side. Smurfing looking for anything here, but you're seeing Zen just absolutely eat them up. Rally coming out there now from Complex. Galaxy going to be able to find Raven, but you see just Mental Institution charge straight on the point. And Snowfall, again, they only lose 1 member, but they decide to back out of the fight completely.
Big deal to be able to get Orbital Ray out of that fight and only have to use the rally to combat it. So, I mean, yes, you did also have to use your overclock, but that's going to be completely fair exchange considering how powerful that Orbital Ray is.
Pulse bomb coming out there from Galaxy, not going to be able to find anything. Orbital Ray now out from water, and YE Snowfall, I give them a lot of credit. They are backing out at the right points, not necessarily trying to put themselves in danger, but that Terror Surge coming out there from Cap'n, not going to be able to find anything. And now the overclock from Raven, already finding one, doing a lot of damage to another, but there's number 2, and the cleanup is there for Snowfall.
To me, that was a big mistake for the side of Mental Institution. They put that Orbital Ray so far back and just allowed Snowfall to be able to disengage. And even, even though they engaged there, it didn't even matter. The distance had been closed and you didn't get any value out of the Orbital Ray. Turtle Boy getting an exiting pick with that Pulse Bomb onto Complex is only going to make this for Mental Institution essentially be their last chance to try and flip it before Snowfall wins this map.
And like you said, there was the big mistake there with that Orbital Ray. Look at what Mental Institution has coming in this fight. Nothing. Snowfall has an Orbital Ray that's going to come on probably in the midpoint. Zen has a remaking tool here. So Snowfall at the moment is in a really, really good spot. If you're Mental Institution, you're looking for Smurfing. You're looking for Galaxy to be able to find something here early. You see Captain here just trying to take some space going up against Zen, but you see Paradox is absolutely farming off them. They're going to have that Orbital Ray, and a lot of times the Orbital Ray is all you need to really win a fight here.
Overtime ensues as we see the Orbital Ray coming down.
And now you do see Mental Institution trying to get something going here. Galaxy does have a pulse bomb ready to go here. They have to find the right target as the rest of their team is doing a great job just making sure they're not getting taken out by that Orbital Ray, but Paradox shuts down Galaxy before the pulse bomb can come out, and that might be the beginning of the end here. Turtle Boy finds one. It's all up to Cap'n Crunch on point, but a pulse bomb there from Turtle Boy yet again seals the deal as the cleanup is there, and Snowfall will win our first point.
Dominance from Turtle Boy on this Tracer has been a big sticking point for me watching this. He is just absolutely living in the backline, absolutely putting so much pressure at times onto the side of Captain Crunch. And we talked about it. There's a lot of times in these fights where you have even mentioned like, oh, stop focusing on Captain Crunch, but then suddenly 2 seconds later, they're dead. They're actually allowing a lot of focus fire onto Captain Crunch, and it's working. They're focusing him down, which normally isn't the case when you're going against a beefy target like an Orisa, which makes me wonder about the amount of support that Captain Crunch was receiving on the Orisa.
I mean, Captain Crunch is getting a lot, but the one thing that you have to kind of bring up with the fact that you mentioned Snowfall was very heavily focusing on Captain there. That DPS line from Mental Institution was not getting in the mid fight or even on the front lines. They weren't even trying to get in the back lines of Snowfall. They just allowed Snowfall supports to basically just kind of play for free in space. They provided no pressure there, and Snowfall just took it every time. Again, we talked about several times, Snowfall, once they lose one person, they don't necessarily stick around. They like to just fall back, not want to lose anymore.
So we see Mental Institution coming out on a Sigma composition. I think going against the D.Va, Sigma is always going to be a nice play. The Accretion Rock can just do absolute wreckage to what D.Va's trying to do.
Well, that is if you hit him right there. We did see Cap'n miss there. Why he's trying to cap this point already about 75% of the way there. Each team still looking for that opening pick here, and there's going to be Turtle Boy finding their counterpart on the other side, and now Cap'n in a very, very bad spot. Smurfing going to fall to those micro missiles, and it looks like Mental Institution is just trying to back out, but that pressure is there from Snowfall as Turtle Boy tries to find one more. They're going to be able to do just that. Those supports, though, going to be able to fall back to the safety of their team.
The situation for Mental Institution is they're playing more of a poke competition when you play the SIG like this, and they kept trying their darndest to try and, not let that point get capped, and I understand why, but you're playing for picks. You can't afford to get your SIG isolated and keep touching point and taking damage like that.
And Turtle Boy built up that pulse bomb again incredibly quickly. They've been able to do that a couple times already this map. I mean, they're going to be able to have another pulse bomb here probably by next fight, considering how long that first one went. Raven does have Bob ready to go, and they're already throwing it out there. Mental Institution has to completely back up, disengage. They're just going to let the ultimate go. But look at what Snowfall does here. They decide to play aggressive, trying to get something out from Mental Institution. Not going to get anything yet, but they do buy a couple good abilities out.
As now we see the re-engage coming out from Mental Institutions. They are forcing the YE Snowfall back.
Orbital rays coming out from both sides right now. Rally from Complex gonna be enough here to really help Mental Institution in a fight that they desperately needed. Water finds too, but Snowfall, this is not necessarily one of the fights that we've normally seen from them. The Alive members try to get out. Looks like they're all gonna be able to except Turtle Boy, who did stall the point there. 70% for Snowfall. And I mean, they did use a couple of huge ultimates there.
Yeah, both the Orbital Ray and the Rally were used there. So that's the advantage Snowfall's going to have coming in the next fight, and you whiff your Pulse Bomb, so the Rally coming in from Teggy should go pretty big, but Flux Overclock should be enough to win you the fight.
It should be, but we've seen stuff in the past not necessarily do that. There's the Flux, the Overclock is out. Galaxy does find Raven. Teggy, though, popping that Rally. Does that necessarily support Snowfall through all this fight? It's not going to do that there, and again, we've talked about it a lot. Whenever they lose one, they normally like to back out. They do find Water in the backline, but you're down Teggy and now Turtle Boy. Somehow, some way, cleaning up a little bit here. Smurfing gonna shut them down. Zen, though, probably the best move for them would be to get out, but no, they actually go in and invest the bomb and get taken out for a huge mistake there.
Yeah, I think at that point, considering where the fight was going, you were unlikely going to be able to get the remake there, and your team wasn't there. Huge mistake there, and it's a very rare mistake coming out from Zen. Normally, they play better than that, so very uncharacteristic. And YE Snowfall's, I mean, just look at this. All they're going to really have coming up soon is Orbital Ray, while Mental Institution is narrowly getting close on a lot of these ults.
Yeah, but if they can go fast here, which has been something they've been able to do very good so far, it will help them out immensely. Almost going to be able to cap the point right there, but one member of Mental Institution just making sure it gets stalled out here. And all that's doing is buying them time. They're going to be able to build up to ultimates. Yes, Snowfall gets the point cap here, but like you said, they only have the Orbital Ray, and they're basically going to have to pop it, I think, early here if they want to win.
As we're seeing Paradox getting attacked in the backline, and Smurfing has found Raven.
That's the pick you absolutely need if you're Mental Institution. Here comes the Orbital Ray. Now Snowfall, they need to find a lot of value off this. Getting rid of one, but still you're looking for more. The Flux is a whiff. It's nothing. All you were grasping at was air that you still do find one. The Pulse Bomb, though, from Turtle Boy finds two. The Orbital Ray out from Water, but what can they do with it here? Down two of their members. Water, though, gonna be able to find Paradox. Raven immediately shuts them down. Cap'n Crunch needs to be able to do God's work here, but Raven shuts them down. The Pulse Bomb from Galaxy not gonna find anything as Zen shuts them down, and Snowfall will take our first map of the night.
Felt like when, outside of that uncharacteristic Diva bomb that they threw out in a bad situation, felt like when it came down to crunch time, a lot of the players for Snowfall came through in a big way, and I think Turtle Boy's the perfect example. Things weren't looking great. A lot of ults were stacking up in favor of Mental Institution. An Orbital Ray coming down from space, and you get a double Pulse Bomb to basically secure the map in your favor. I like what I'm seeing out of YE Snowfall, and specifically Turtle Boy, who was running that lobby on Tracer.
Yeah, and we even kind of talked about it a little bit there. The DPS lines are playing it a little bit differently. Yeah, they both have Tracers. They're both playing Sojas. The Ashe was there for Snowfall on that last point. But there wasn't a lot of backline pressure from the Tracer on the side of Mental Institution. Turtle Boy, though, you always kind of saw them in that backline. They weren't afraid to get right up in their face and try to find a pick or two, even after fights were ending and the Mental Institution was backing out. That was the main difference there, and you kind of talked about it a little bit. The pulse bomb, though, at the end, that was huge. We saw both Tracers kind of whiff on their first couple pulse bombs at second point, but you needed one to find something there for both those teams, but it was Snowfall's pulse bomb that found the most.
Yeah, because if you would have allowed those two players to live with an orbital raid coming down, you're definitely losing that fight. You might not necessarily lose the map because you would have still had a chance to get a full team fight touch, but it would have made things a lot more sticky. Like, it would have been tougher. It would have been a guarantee. That pulse bomb secured you the map. So big props to Turtle Boy for finding that when their team needed it the most. And now you're in a situation if you're a Mental Institution where throughout the season, they've been pretty particular in what they like playing. I mean, I just think back to when they had Glacier on Rhine in the midseason against Short Bus. Sorry, it was Short Bus. And they've been, very like, we like to play these kinds of comps. So given that this is where the power starts to come to their hand, they can take them to whatever map they feel best on, and whatever comp they're going to feel most comfortable, they're going to go to that kind of map. So I'm excited to see where the series goes from here.
Well, I mean, we do know what our next map is. And Ray, I mean, it's not necessarily a big surprise to me that we're going to a Clash map here next. Mental Institution decided to bring us to Throne of Anubis, which is not necessarily a big shock. I mean, you saw them, they want to play a little bit of an aggressive kind of play style, but going up against the other side, the Diva of Zen seemed to be able to shut it down pretty good a lot of the time, and that's something I wouldn't necessarily expect to say from it, considering the Orisa does have a decent number of tools that should be able to shut down or at least be able to withstand a lot of that pressure that Diva does apply.
Mental Institution loves to take teams to Clash, loves to go there. That's why they took Short Bus there in the mid-season. Last week, not last week, their last match, which was 2 or 3 days ago, I believe they won 3-1, and they took them to this map to finish them off. And Throne of Anubis has been where they have gone off. As we see for the side of YE Snowfall, they're making a substitution. Zombie coming in to go along with Turtle Boy. And I mean, if I know anything about some Zombie, they are so good on that Sojourn.
And that was something that, I talked about coming into this series. Both these teams, very deep rosters. Could expect to see a lot of subs throughout the night. Zombie, like you said, right now, especially with Soj being kind of back to where she was at the launch of Overwatch 2 and basically the first year of it being very, very strong again. It's not a shock to see the Soj mains coming back out of hiding here and back into the light, finding a lot of value here. But as we head in here, we already kind of saw a brief moment there what each team wants to run. This doesn't really shock me that Snowfall is not going to make any swaps. Mental Institution, though, Cap and Crunch going to be going back over to the Orisa. What do you necessarily think about that?
I think the Orisa is probably the most meta tank we have right now. Not that others aren't viable. Obviously, Zen's been great on the Diva. Diva has been popping their head up a little bit. But I think this is just going back to comfortability. It's very similar. I mean, it's just, it plays similarly to the Reinhardt compositions they love to play.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see, SimTP's out for each side there. They both want to get to this initial fight very, very quickly. And Mental Institution just trying to take a lot of space here. Zen can only do so much before they really have to just dive back out. But Zombie coming in, already making their presence known right there. Getting rid of water. There goes your main support. There goes your tank. If you're Mental Institution and YE Snowfall, picking up right where they left off from Samoa.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Zombie's, he's Italian, is he not? I think that's the player. I might be mixing him up, but regardless, I just know him as a very talented Sojourn player. Open things up. First point cap goes to YE Snowfall. Mental Institution is going to have to go back and rethink some things as we now go to the second point.
Yeah, you are right. Zombie is an Italian player here. But again, like I said, they have to kind of rethink here. They just cannot go headfirst into these things, even though they're playing this Orisa comp, which really does provide you a lot of good kind of maneuverability, especially with Orisa being able to take a lot of space, like they are right there, forcing Teggy back. But after that, what are you going to do? You already got Speed Ring out, and again, Turtle Boy trying to get in that backline like they were doing all first map, and right now, Mental Institution doing a good job just slowing them down.
Oh.
I see the pulse bomb coming out and it finds water.
You don't find the stick, but when you're in such a tight area, you will still find a lot of value with it. You get rid of water, and again, water out very early on. That's your main source of healing, and a lot of damage out here early. And Snowfall gonna be able to look like they're gonna be capping point B here and taking us to point A already early here. Smurfing the will shut down Zombie, but Zombie from the grave will find Smurfing right back.
And Snowfall's absolutely cleaning up with how close the spawns are. However, Mental Institution is definitely going to get another fight before any kind of unlocking or tick progress is made. But Snowfall will also be able to regroup as a full 5 as well.
And Galaxy cannot fall here, but Turtle Boy has their number. Galaxy does have that pulse bomb ready to go. Point is open here. And if you're Snowfall, you're really just hoping to get something out from Mental Institution. Maybe a couple ultimates. Maybe you take a fight yourself here and use a couple ultimates to see what Mental Institution will do here. But Complex getting rid of Zombie, I think that's just a fallback here for YE Snowfall, especially considering how close this point is already being capped. And yeah, that looks like what Snowfall is going to do here.
I agree. I think the smart thing is just to look to get out. And I mean, you're going to have 5 ults for this next fight. Mental Institution, who also swapped over to a diva of their own, just realizing the power that Zen is bringing into this lobby. They got to match it at this point. The damage mitigation you're able to do to these Sojourns is absolutely crucial. I think that's a big reason why Diva's starting to see an emergence.
Yeah, as well as just being able to eat up some of these torpedoes that the Junos will throw out there, but not enough healing going on to Smurfing. The Orbital Ray out from Paradox as YE Snowfall looks to clean up this fight and cap this point again very quickly here, but the Pulse Bomb stuck there to Zombie is huge. That allows Mental Institution to come back in. Pulse Bomb now out from Turboy, not going to find the value this time around. Orbital from Water doing their damnedest here to force Snowfall back, and they are doing just that. Down Zombie, there's not a lot of pressure they can provide.
Both teams still have a lot of ults they can commit to this fight. Both rallies, if they do so, look to do that, and I think they're going to as we see Mental Institution.
Rally 1 out. There's rally number 2 from Teggy. Snowfall trying to find some way back onto the point, and that's a good way to do it, but you still need to find a touch. Bomb out here from Zen. Not going to be able to find anyone, but Turtle Boy finds Smurfing to that DPS line down for Mental Institution, and now you're starting to see everyone from Snowfall get their name in that kill feed, and it looks like it'll be another point B cap for Snowfall.
And one could say that, you know, both teams put a lot into that, but Zombie was able to hold on to that overclock, so if they do so decide to attack aggressively at this next point, which, wow, they're even going to look to touch, maybe try and force out a couple ults.
I have seen some insane point B holds in the past, stalls and retakes. It would not surprise me if these two teams are able to provide us with one here right now. Pulse bomb, or bomb coming out there from Cap and Crunch. Not going to be able to find anything, but hey, the pulse bomb from Turtle Boy will find Cap and Crunch before they're able to get back in their mech. Point B in control of Snowfall. Let's go back to point A.
As they're going to get the pick onto Complex as well. And now Zombie can look to find the perfect spot to look to overclock to give themselves the best angles. No ults available for the side of Mental Institution.
Galaxy's pulse bomb's not that far away. Essentially, basically half a clip into anyone will get that to them here. But Snowfall, they're gonna go fast here. They have an orbital ray. Galaxy water taken out. We talked about a pulse bomb from Galaxy, where it's not gonna be found this fight. Hell, Smurfing's not gonna be found this fight. There's point number 4. Now, if you're Mental Institution, you need to be getting back out here quickly. That orbital ray is dead and gone, but YE Snowfall so close to taking this map incredibly quickly, and everyone's starting to fall down from Mental Institution. Pulse bomb out from Galaxy, not gonna find anything there, and as everyone falls to the ground, YE Snowfall dominant through these first 2 maps.
And this was Mental Institution's pick once again. Wow. And this is normally where Mental Institution likes to get their momentum, is bringing them to this map specifically. YE Snowfall said, nope, we are going to dominate. I mean, Mental Institution only won 1 point on Throne of Anubis. Insane.
And remember, the 1 point was basically because YE Snowfall just decided to back out of it. It was the first time they went to point A. That's a strategy you see a lot of teams do, and you saw why right there. It was immediately YE Snowfall came back in 1 point B, 1 point A very quickly. They didn't have to fully cap it there, so it was a good strategic play there from Snowfall. But Ray, I mean, we're starting to see why this YE Snowfall team gave Short Bus a big run for their money in that upper bracket finals.
and why they were the ones to send Mental Institution to the lower bracket. With that, we are going to go to a quick break. YE Snowfall coming out strong, absolutely dominating the first 2 maps. Mental Institution needs a little bit of a mental break. Hopefully they can figure something out. As we go to a break, we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So far, this has been a smooth ride for YE Snowfall, looking to get back into that grand finals to get some revenge at Short Bus, who knocked them down to this lower finals. But Mental Institution, this is a team that has had a lot of history here in CGL, a team that we all know can bounce back and make this into a series. Well, their work is now cut out for them as they have to reverse sweep if they want to get a shot at Short Bus. Ray, I mean, we were talking about during the break here a little bit. We were just trying to figure out what does Mental Institution really need to do here, because it seems like they're trying stuff, but it's just not necessarily working out for them.
It feels like Snowfall is just playing so perfect right now that any little mistake Mental Institution makes is magnified, and because they're not making any mistakes, it's not giving Mental Institution any room to get back in. So at this point, it's either, you know, Mental Institution either starts playing on that perfect level, or they start forcing mistakes out of YE Snowfall to try and get back in, and it's all going to start, hopefully for them, with reverse sweeping on our next map, which has been decided by Mental Institution, and they have decided to take us to King's Row.
And hey, not necessarily a shock considering you talked about Mental Institution liking to play a Reinhardt comp. King's Row, known for it, but still, you've seen a lot of teams, especially in Overwatch 2. Yeah, it's still a brawl map. It will always be a brawl map at heart, but you've seen teams start to play dive, start to play rush, start to play poke, start to play basically everything on this map. Is this the map, though, where Mental Institution decides to bring out that Rhine for one last hurrah if this is it for them?
I mean, normally it would be like with Glacier being there, but there's no Glacier on this roster right now coming in. We do see Raven coming back in on the DPS line. As Zombie's going to take a seat back to the bench. I mean, with how well Zombie did in that previous map, I'm a little surprised. Not that the Raven didn't do good. Raven also did very good on Samoa, but very excited to see where this goes. Mental Institution has to win the next 3 maps in a row in order to punch their ticket to the grand finals. YE Snowfall hoping to make this a quick and early night and allowing themselves to go try and get some revenge on Short Bus, which was a close match. It was 3-2.
Close map, and I feel like that map 5 could have gone either way between those two here. But like you said, Mental Institution, it's kind of the same story we saw last night in the SNO, where that team that was down just has to kind of take every map one map at a time. They cannot look forward. They cannot look back. They have to solely focus in on this map here. And I mean, the lineup that Mental Institution has is still a very, very good lineup. One of the best teams in this tier. They only lost once the entire regular season, and that was to Short Bus. They lost in, I believe, in the midseason to Short Bus, and their only other loss after that was to Snowfall in the upper bracket. So they're looking for a revenge here, and they need to find it here fast, especially going into King's Row, a map that everyone knows by heart.
Yeah, there's going to be no surprises, no trickery, no. I mean, this is just the map everyone. It's almost like it's something you learned in kindergarten. You're just never going to forget. It's just ingrained into our brains how this map plays, how it goes. Nothing. You're not going to surprise anyone on this map. I mean, unless, you know, you get a cheeky little headshot on a Widowmaker, but everyone's going to be expecting it. That's not really a surprise. It's just a skillful play from a great Widowmaker. So, excited, anticipation. So we see on the screen, once again, King's Row is our next map. But for Mental Institution, you got to just basically, you know, as a computer science major, I would just say just ram dump everything, core dump everything. Just forget those first 2 maps. It's a fresh series. You gotta play like it is.
Hey, you got to play like a basketball player. All my coaches basically told me you have the memory of a squirrel. You forget something basically 2 seconds after you do it, and you're already looking for the next thing. That's exactly what this Mental Institution team needs to do here. But, I mean, coming out of the gate, Ray, no big shocks from either side. I'm not going to talk about Teggy just yet. They're attacking, so they have the time here to necessarily mess around with their comms.
Yeah, for the side of Mental Institution on this defense, continuing to play the Orisa, I think on a map like King's Row, that's perfectly fine. Galaxy going over to the Genji is an interesting wrinkle in things. I mean, we do see Turtle Boy also highlighting it, so it might be fine. And I think like King's Row, the wall climb ability that Genji has is, you know, very helpful because Tracer tends to have to take longer pathing on this map. So maybe that's the idea.
Yeah, it might be the idea, but we've also just been seeing a lot more Genji here recently. I mean, it's always been a substitute for the Tracer, so not necessarily a surprise. And Tegi gonna be sticking on the Mercy, actually. That's an interesting play. I thought they would be swapping over.
I think this is just them feeling themselves out. We're like, we've been dominating. We can play this silly Mercy character, especially with Raven getting picks like that.
What?
Galaxy. How do you jump off? How do you kill yourself like that?
What? It had to be deflecting micro missiles into the ground. It had to be deflecting micro missiles into the ground. But like, this is kind of what you have gone back to saying. Snowfall has been playing everything perfectly. Mental Institution, they've been making these small mistakes over and over and over again, and that right there is kind of another one. It's insanely weird and not necessarily something you see a lot, but it's still a mistake.
Yeah, and Raven just finding that opening pick on the Sojourn. That's just the power of a great player, finding a great angle and getting a good railgun shot as Sojourn has.
Galaxy, they're going to be able to find Raven right back, so maybe Mental Institution can get back in here. It looks like they're going to be able to get back and hold at arches. They did a really smart thing there after they lost that DPS line. Just fall back, regroup, so now they can hold here.
Yeah, the one thing that's going for Mental Institution is when these support ultimates come online, Rally and Orbital Ray is going to far outweigh Nano and Valkyrie. Like, it's not even going to be close.
Well, speaking of Valkyrie, Tegi going to be using that here, and they're looking to kind of boost them through this fight here very early on. The Nanoblade, though, is ready if they want to invest it, but Zen going to get demech'd. Not necessarily a good idea, but Mental Institution backing up, even though that Diva is not there. The Nano is out, the Blade is out, and as well into that backline. 1-2 swings, finds 2 right there, looking for more Raven. We'll find Captain Crunch. I mean, Ray, it doesn't really matter that they have the Orbital and the Rally coming up here. Snowfall has just been able to push through.
3 ults off the table for Snowfall. The Mental Institution will be coming back with all 5. The key is going to be judicial use of these ultimates because you have to hold and waste a lot of time. You can't take this point back and use all 5 of your ults.
You can't. You cannot. That's only going to hurt you in the later fights. You're already starting here. Orbital Ray out, Overclock's out from both sides here. Raven looking for anything, but Galaxy finally going to be able to find one there, and that might just do it for this fight. Snowfall has always backed out in the past, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing here again.
That's one thing. I mean, they end up winning the fight anyway, but I do not like how far back they place the Orbital Ray. Yes, I agree. You should be placing it a little bit further back so it comes into your team as you're engaging on the fight, but they do it very far back, and I feel like they don't get the full value out of the Orbital Ray that they should.
Terror Surge out. This is gonna be scary. Finds 2 right there, and Snowfall again backing up, but there's gonna be no escape this time. 4 members down. The only one left alive is Zen, and I don't know where they are. Oh,
this is what we needed to see. We saw Orbital Ray and Overclock for the first fight, Rally and Terror Surge for this one, and now Galaxy has the Blade that they can pull in the next fight. As long as they can win it with just the Blade, they will have successfully wasted probably a good 2 minutes off the clock.
I mean, they might not even need the Blade here. It might just be used as a little bit of just a caution piece here. But the Valkyrie already out here for take. You see Captain Crunch here wanting to chase after Raven, but that was a little bit of a mistake on their side. The Blade coming out now just to try to keep him in this fight, but Zen gonna be able to find 3 already this fight, looking to find some more. Tegi, though, gonna be able to get Raven back into this one here. Zen with kill number 4. They're looking for the ace, but Water should be able to run away fast enough.
Paradox is absolutely stymieing Mental Institution with these anti-nades. Look at this. They're so afraid of him. They're going to Zarya now. I mean, yes, Zarya is also a good counter to the Diva, but every time they've gotten a big nade onto Captain Crunch on the Orisa and they just fall down. Zarya can at least cleanse that now.
Yeah, I think this is the right play. We've been seeing a lot of teams actually play this weekend and face it, and I love seeing the Zarya come back out, especially with how much value they're able to get, because like you said, they can cleanse, and also they can just disregard that damage matrix that Zen has. Is going to be applying a lot more pressure to Snowfall now, but you need to be able to do something. But what a sleep! The Nanoblade out! That is a rude awakening if I have ever seen one in Smurfing. Not going to be able to wake up after that one. Turtle Boy finds another one, and Snowfall again just cruising.
One fight away from bringing this home. Water will have the Orbital Ray to go along with Smurfing's Overclock, as Raven's gonna have to go crazy.
Orbital Ray out as well there from Water, but Smurfing's Overclock going to be able to win out there, and it's going to be like what we saw last time these combos, that ultimate was combo there from Mental Institution. Snowfall just going to back out, knowing that they got a lot of value already out from Mental Institution, and Turtle Boy maybe looking for one more pick here.
And they got a lot of ult out of YE stuff. I mean, the only thing they're going to have is the Valkyrie. Turtle Boy goes back to the spawn rooms, and now Mental Institution. 2.5 minutes left for YE Snowfall to get this across. Have a lot in their utility chest to be able to waste a lot of time. Complex will have the rally. Captain Crunch is getting close to... I mean, you'll be able to combo Grav Blade.
The worst thing that could happen is that grab gets deflected right back into you, so that's going to be something they're going to have to watch out for here. Valkyrie already out here for Teki again. They like using these here early, especially when everyone desperately needs healing. That's exactly what everyone's going to be getting here at the moment. Mental Institutions, though, they're going to be pretty happy that Valkyrie's out here now, especially with the ultimates they have building up.
We see high ground being taken from Snowfall. Again, a lot of ults, but a big Anthony on the complex.
Woo! The grab will not get eaten. It will not get deflected back. Galaxy already finding Teki, but Raven shuts them down with a shot of their own. Zen, though, D-Mech, D-Life as well. You're seeing here now Mental Institution finally get a little bit of a foothold in this series, shutting down everyone as Paradox just looking for the nearest exit, and Captain Crunch will just show him a fist.
As they finally force the Mercy away, as now they're going to go over to the Juno, trying to play a little bit more meta. We do see Galaxy on the Mei currently, as we got Window and Rally and Overclock. It's actually looking good. Just a little bit over a minute. Mental Institution has what they need. I think they could hold.
They could hold here, but you know that Nanoblade is coming out here from Turtle Boy and Paradox. They have to be ready for that. They have the utility here and the usage to necessarily be able to survive it completely. But right now, if you're Snowfall, this is the first time all series you've really been dead stop. There's the Nano, there's the Blade, the Rally, the Amp Matrix out as well. Turtle Boy still gonna be able to find one in that backline, but they just dash away to safety, and you're seeing the cleanup come out here from Snowfall. Bomb from Zen, not gonna be able to find anyone, but still picking up the pieces right there. Oh, Galaxy just sitting in that disrupting shot, and does anyone from Mental Institution get back?
They have a Wrecking Ball to be able to touch Anna. Tracer Smurfing has gone down. A lot of time for Captain Crunch to waste, but the Overclock from Raven, it's so good, and there's not a lot of touchers left.
There is not Waterfalls. Teki pops the Orbital Ray, and that will seal the deal right there. 18 seconds on the clock. That is probably a lot less than what Snowfall was really hoping for, considering how that map went to until the third point.
Yes, a lot less, but at the same time, that's also just like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say like devastating or a dagger, but that just hurts if you're Mental Institution. We got 18 seconds away from at least forcing OT, which would have been huge if they get a good attack coming out. So no matter how well Mental Institution does on this attack, YE Snowfall gets another chance, and they're not out of it on this map, which you would have loved to have that opportunity to be able to do. So for Mental Institution, you're going to have to finish the map, make sure you have a decent time bank, and you're going to have to face them again in extras.
Yeah, but like we kind of saw there for Mental Institution, it feels like they figured something out. They finally found a comp that was working for them against Snowfall. Snowfall, they had to play a little bit differently than how they played all night there. And it worked out for Mental Institution all the way up until the end. And coming out the gate, they're hovering over the Zarya here again, Captain Crunches. I feel like this is the right move, at least until we get proven that they really can't do it.
I agree. I mean, the Zarya has working well. It's a great counter. The Diva, the Ana they were playing, which it doesn't look like they're going to play anymore. It was a great change of pace for that. Really surprised to see Bap Olari coming out of YE Snowfall. That is not a support combo I saw on my bingo card.
And this is something you kind of talked about maybe a little bit when we saw the Mercy came out. Maybe Snowfall is kind of feeling themselves here. Like they know they have this comfortable lead here at the moment. They're just kind of begging for Mental Institution to say, hey, we can, we're back in this series now. But Turtle Boy? That no one noticed, no one saw. Okay, Galaxy, you have to see Galaxy.
Do they?
I think they definitely heard the grenade jump there, so they know the Bastion is somewhere. But right now, I mean, Mental Institution, they're rotating all the way around. Again, this is a play that we see a lot. It's not necessarily a play that I really like. It takes away a lot of time, especially in a map like this where seconds are valuable. But Turtle Boy comes right in, gets rid of smurfing, and look at them just melt down Cap and Crunch.
They do get Paradox for their troubles, but the trades are coming in. That does favor the attackers, but they got to get moving. They got to start getting some pressure on this point.
They gotta start getting some pressure, but they gotta start getting some pressure on Turtle Boy. Raven, though, taken out early. Look at what that does here to Snowfall. They're just gonna back out, maybe give over a tick here before we see a re-engage. Oh, Teggy got so low, but a huge play there by Zen to make sure they weren't taken out there. One tick already in control by Mental Institution. Make it two.
Turtle Boy gets smurfing, and we just see Captain Crunch trying to live, survive through all the damage from Turtle Boy. The kills are coming in for YE Snowfall, and they're going to hold for now.
And like I said, Mental Institution really needs to focus on Turtle Boy here, because once they're in that turret form, the bubbles that Captain Crunch is going to be able to throw out are only going to be there for the matter of half a second before they're gone, and that melting is right back.
So for the side of Mental Institution, they're coming up on Smurfing's overclock, but just look at all these check marks for YE Snowfall. 4 ults to be able to use for this defense versus the Bastion ult.
Oh, no. Okay, the Bastion one, not necessarily finding all the value you were hoping for there, but did force out a lot. The Captive Sun now out as well, and it will be able to find, well, not actually going to be able to find anyone there. I thought it might be able to find Water. Raven in the backline, going to be able to find their counterpart on the other side, but still right now, Mental Institution does have the numbers advantage. Bomb coming out here, though, from Zen. Not going to be able to find anyone, but all Mental Institution needs to do here is get one tick, but that Ant Matrix on the high ground melts down Captain Crunch. Galaxy, though, going to be able to shut down Turtle Boy here. Mental Institution is still in this fight.
That they are, and with the closer spawns, it should be a big time cap. They have 5 ults.
Raven finds one. You get the D-Mech there onto Zen. You see the pressure from Snowfall on this high ground, just trying to do what they can, but they're going to have to just surrender the point here. One more touch coming out, but that's going to be all they get there. A touch. Mental Institution can finally get the ball rolling here on point 2, but hey, that's exactly what you need here very early on. Get rid of the tank, and now you have a little bit of free time to push that card. Push the card.
You should
Y'all.
get this past the archways, but come on, you gotta know.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta know he's there. Come on. Come on, Mental Institution.
He has one of the heaviest footsteps in the game.
Oh, they found him. Okay, good.
Oh
good.
my goodness. Please don't lose. Please don't lose this. Oh my goodness. And I mean, look at what this is doing. Mental Institution is completely focusing in on this. This is going to allow Snowfall to come back out and hold at arches.
I mean, it shouldn't really matter. I mean, you're in a 5v4, so you should still win this archway fight. It just wasted time, if anything. And I think in the long run, that was bad for YE Snowfall. So like they have to completely fall back.
And you're going to lose some on the fallback here, but I mean, it's just the time. That's the big thing right now. We especially came into this round talking about that Mental Institution need to have a good time this one. Teggy get be taken out there by smurfing, but still, you need to get just something, the ball rolling here, and you're finding the picks to do that. Snowfall's going to have to quickly regroup here. Oh no.
Yeah, but you fed an extraordinary amount of ult charge to side of Mental Institution to where they might be coming back with 5 ults once again if this fight goes on long enough.
Turtle Boy low, Turtle Boy taken out. Zen gonna be able to immediately get that quick kind of take back right there. So the numbers are even across the board. Each team down a DPS here, but Zen on that high ground is gonna be able to provide a lot of value and a lot of pressure, but they eventually will fall down, but go straight back up. Captain Crunch though, you see him highly charged. Their overclock coming out from Raven. Now the grab coming out as well. Smurfing gonna be able to find one, and now the cleanup is there for Mental Institution and Snowfall. Like we've seen a lot in the past, just backing out, gonna concede 3 minutes on the board here for the Institution.
They're able to win that with just the grab and the beat. Didn't have to commit anything else. Leave yourselves nice tools, nice ults to work with to try and get this rolling. They are going to have 3 minutes, so it's not as big as a time bank as YE Snowfall had, but it doesn't matter. You've taken down the Bastion. You do get the Genji for trade, but You're going to take that if you're the side of Mental Institution.
And finding Raven right back after that. Once they get set up on that high ground, they are very hard to kill. And now, look at Mental Institution. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with momentum. They're going into Snowfall's backline.
They are absolutely wrecking havoc, and we have seen no ults needed. They've been getting this just from the neutral fight win. They didn't even see Smurfing on the off angle there.
I mean, Smurfing taking a page out of Turtle Boy's playbook right there. Off angling, Turtle Boy will find Complex there right after they use their own Amp Matrix, and the rest of their fight's not necessarily going their way. Galaxy will find one here, but Zen gonna be able to stay in their mech. Cap'n gonna fall right there, and the rest of their team soon to follow. YE Snowfall now trying to eat away a lot of that time bank.
Turtle Boy coming back on that Tracer and finding two absolutely key, giving back Samoa vibes that we saw on map number 1. 1:45 left on the clock for Mental Institution. Gonna have the Blade for Galaxy. The question is, do they look to wait and combo with the grab, or are they gonna look to just go in there bare blade and hope for the best?
I mean, this is going to be a very important fight here for Mental Institution. If you don't force up any ultimates from the other side, it's going to be a really, really rough final 2 fights here. For the Kitsune Rush already out from Teggy, there's going to be no response from Mental Institution, but look at what they do. They fall back here. They're just trying to kite this ultimate out for the moment. The Blade, though, it comes out, Pulse Bomb out from the other side. The Blade will find one, still looking for some more here, but Turtle Boy's gonna shut them down. So for the cost of 2 ultimates, Snowfall does win that one, but they still have 3 more ultimates to boot.
Yeah, and I mean, really, Mental Institution traded 2 for 1, so I guess you're going to take that trade. And it's not like, you know, the Widow ultimate is, you know, that, you know, I mean, yes, you reveal the sites, but it's not like one of those that's going to go in there and get you a bunch of kills. The one I'd be worried about is this Orbital Array coming in from Paradox, but Water's Beat should give them enough sustain for it.
It should, but it might be something where they just try to fall back, but the time is no longer on their side. They can't really do that, and you need to keep your tank alive. They're going to be able to hold on. The bomb coming out from Zen as a remeching tool. The visor out as well, so Mental Institution, you've lost this fight, but you're still picking up some kills here. You're going to be able to come back in very quickly, but losing Complex hurts.
Yeah, you do get 2 in exchange, so the side of YE Snowfall, they won't be able to play as aggressively, and you're going to have Overclock, Beat, and Grab, and Window. You have what you need to bring this home. You just gotta make it happen now.
Overtime has commenced. Season on the line for Mental Institution. They have the ultimates here to play with. The Beat can be the first one out. They're looking for anything here, but they cannot get off the card. Smurfing pops the overclock, can be able to find one. The Orbital Ray out from the other side. The grab, though, from Kevin. Will it be enough to help their team out? All they have to do is get rid of Zen, but they're down. They're Lucio here. They have to get a cart touch here. Zen does. They're looking for it. They're going to get there just in time, but where's the rest of their team? But they fly a little bit too high. We're going to be going to overtime.
I legitimately think if they didn't fly too high, with the mech coming out, they would have been able to stall for just an extra second. I think they would have had teammates coming. Who knows what would have happened then, given the numbers that we were looking at and the better spawns for YE Snowfall. Huge mistake coming out from Zen. We'll have to know if that's going to be enough to get Mental Institution back in the series. Can they keep this momentum going? Or is it all over, and did YE Snowfall send them packing?
I mean, it's the little things. What did we talk about Snowfall this entire series? They have been playing perfectly. Not a lot of mistakes. Maybe the only thing that you could count as a mistake was pulse bombs not necessarily sticking to people. That is a very, very small, like, nitpick. It's one small mistake in a team that has played perfectly so far, but Mental Institution, you just gave them another breath of life. And yeah, they were probably going to win out that fight anyway there, and we know how those kind of touch kind of things go, where it's always the attacking team that will win out, but still, a small mistake like that might give this Mental Institution squad the momentum and that mentality they need here to push through.
Here we go. It's all out on the line for Mental Institution. 1 minute. It took them much longer to cap this first point than it did for YE Snowfall. That's the only thing that worries me.
And one thing with Snowfall as well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Maybe they were kind of having some fun knowing they were up 2-0, but look at this comp now. This is a very, very serious comp that Snowfall came out with here. Mental Institution, they need to find a pick very early on to help them out. Losing Galaxy is not what you want to do, but again, we saw Mental Institution do this last time around. They played for that high ground, but eventually that time bank's gonna go down to 0 here, Ray.
Lot of pressure put on the Galaxy, who's going to get healed up, forced to recall. However, oh no, this is bad.
They get there, but now, I mean, that Zarya's gonna be able to do a lot. The Dynamite, I don't think really hit on to anyone that's gonna be able to do a significant amount here. Mental Institution, though, almost getting a tick here, but now you see the collapse here from Snowfall. Mental Institution, though, they get rid of Taggy here early. That's a huge pick there. 1 tick to their name. Galaxy starting to pop off here a little bit for their team when they need it most. 1 tick, about to be 2 here, and they're gonna be able to find the 2nd tick, but now Water finding Paradox. Mental Institution looking like they're actually gonna be able to cap this first point and start a push.
Pulse bombs available for Turtle Boy. Looks like they're just gonna give it up. Look to fight another day. Galaxy goes down.
And I mean, if you're a Mental Institution, you have this pressure, and you have Zen demeched. That's a huge play here now. Turtle Boy's Pulse Bomb is gonna have to be something that's used here to try to slow down this push.
As we see, I mean, I feel like this point and the amount of distance they've gained already for a minute is already more than what Mental Institution could have asked for. Question is, how much more distance are they able to get?
And right now you got through arches. That's a huge thing. Snowfall gonna really allow them to start pushing it past Pub here, which is gonna be a big thing for them. Ultimate's coming online here for both sides. Turtle Boy used their pulse bomb there, not finding anything. The Ant Matrix coming out here. Raven not gonna be able to escape. Galaxy trying to do their best here to get rid of Zen. Bomb coming out, not gonna be able to find anyone but Smurfin taken out of the equation here. Mental Institution playing with some life here, but that DPS line is now gone.
Yeah, 2 down. That opens the window for Snowfall to come back and get this touch. And the spawns at this point are pretty even.
And right now, Paradox low, Water low. It's gonna be Waterfall in there with some help from Turtle Boy. Mental Institution trying to find whatever they can here, but they're gonna be down their other support here in a moment. Complex, though, does find Paradox. Turtle Boy eventually gonna take him out here. Raven gets rid of Cap and Crunch, and I don't know how much longer Mental Institution can really survive on their own. Not much. It is right there, but Mental Institution 100 meters into point 2. That might just be enough here to help them out.
That distance should be enough. I'm going to caveat with the should, because Snowfall was able to move extremely quickly through the first 2 points. Where they really got stalled out was point C. But Mental Institution put themselves in a great spot to keep their hopes alive in the series and come back. But it's not over yet. They got to focus up. They got to be ready, because, as I mentioned, Snowfall was able to move through the first 2 points methodically and quickly. You can't afford to relax. You can't feel like we got this. No. You need to come with all your energy and make sure you force a map number 4.
They went through these first 2 points with ease, but that was before Mental Institution made the swaps to what they're running right now. And Cap and Crunch on the Zarya has been a huge difference. If Mental Institution can win 1 fight on this first point, it goes a long way. Zen making the swap back over to the D.Va. I honestly would have kind of preferred them to come out on the Winston here, but you don't have a lot of time, Ray. What do you think?
I think the D.Va has been countered pretty well by the Zarya. I mean, Captain Crunch just always had constant charge, always been able to demech him pretty quick, and I think this is the smart thing is to come out on this Winton.
18-second difference between Snowfall and Mental Institution in this round. Basically, that's not even a fight. So you basically have about the same amount of time here, and Mental Institution gonna allow Snowfall to come charging on the point first. It's gonna be Captain Crunch meeting them there on it. They don't want them to get ticked fast, but Galaxy, someone who has absolutely popped off for this Mental Institution team, carrying their team in this first fight.
Oh, I was curious if Raven was gonna be able to find a pick there. Could have been big. 1 more opportunity for Snowfall and 1 more chance for Mental Institution to slam the door in this map and make this a series. No ult's really close for anybody on either side.
it's going to be pretty much dry. The Tracers weren't able to build up as fast as they were last time. Zen on this Winston, not necessarily finding a lot of value here. You see the Tracers trying to get in that back line, but still, Cap'n Crunch on the Zarya has been a huge difference for this Mental Institution squad here. Though you do see one tick get capped here. Mental Institution doesn't care about that, but Cap'n Crunch taken out by a railgun shot from Raven. That's all you really need here. If you're Mental Institution, just fall back. You cannot give up arches.
No, you gotta get out. Water going down is not great, but Lucio is one of the heroes who will get back faster. The question is it fast enough to be able to push the issue on arches? Pulse Bomb is now going to be available for both of these Tracers, and both of these teams are just on the edge of coming close to a lot of these ultimates. Mental Institution a lot closer on their window and their overclock.
That beat, though, from Water needs to be built up here pretty quickly. Galaxy cannot fall very early on. You see the right clicks coming out there from Zen, the dive into them as well. But look at how highly charged Cap'n Crunch is. Pulse Bomb, though, not going to be able to find anything other than that immortality field. But Cap'n Crunch not going to be able to see the end of this fight. Smurfing, though, finds one. Galaxy comes right back. Pulse Bomb out from them. Not going to be able to do enough here. That Ant Matrix not finding the value, but Turtle Boy sure as hell is. Water going to be able to shut down Raven, but now it's up to the Tracers and the support here. Now it's up to the Tracer. Galaxy will find Teggy there, but they have to fall back. Turtle Boy, though, you have the close response here, and right now if you're Galaxy, just fall back and regroup.
Oh, this is getting intense. That was window used from the side of Mental Institution, but you did get the overclock out, so Smurfing is going to be the only one with the overclock. Both Orbital Ray and Kitsune Rush are just on the verge.
If you're Mental Institution, you have to find one of those ones out here early on. The grab not that far away from Cap'n either. Water, that beat I talked about needs to be built up here incredibly quickly now, especially with Snowfall having 4 ultimates coming up here. Overclock out here first, but now here comes the cavalry from Snowfall. The Orbital Ray out, the Kitsune Rush out. They want to play fast, they want to play aggressive. Smurfing shut down the beat out. There's the grab. Will it do enough here for Mental Institution? They trade out picks. Pulse Bomb from Turtle Boy, not going to be able to find anyone there, but they shut down Cap'n Crunch. Primal Rage out from Zen. They're just swinging their hands around. Water going to be taken out here. Galaxy trying to do what they can, but they're going to be taken out as well. YE Snowfall looking like they're going to be able to send themselves to the grand finals for a revenge match against Short Bus.
Wow. Oh, wow. Snowfall able to get that done in the end. Absolutely ridiculous. I thought that was going to be enough distance for the side of Mental Institution, but Turtle Boy coming through on that overtime fight, basically just past the archways at the bookstore, was able to hold on, find the kills, and keep YE Snowfall alive on this map, and it allowed them to win this series. And now they get to go back and try and take another shot at Short Bus and see if they can win this time.
And Mental Institution, they figured it out. They figured it out on this final map, and that was the best we saw them play all series long. They finally looked like they had YE Snowfall's number there. They were able to stop him multiple times, made that entire last round incredibly close, but YE Snowfall just a little bit too much there at the end. And like you said, a couple hero plays coming out there from Turtle Boy to seal the deal. But I mean, if you just came into the series, you would want to see more. But because Snowfall had such a dominant first 2 maps, they locked themselves into a rematch.
Congratulations to YE Snowfall and Mental Institution. I know this is not the way you wanted to end your season on a 3-0 like this, but you had a fantastic season. 3rd place is nothing to be ashamed of, especially in one of the biggest and most competitive divisions we have in CGL. So pat yourselves on the back. YE Snowfall, be prepared. I know your last matchup against Short Bus was 3-2, but Short Bus is known for winning these championships and coming through. They're trying to be the 2-time defending champions. Let's see if you can break that.
Yeah, and we're going to throw it back to a quick break, and we'll be right back with an interview with Paradox when we come back. All right, after an exciting 3-0 sweep for YE Snowfall to lock them into the grand finals with a revenge match against Short Bus, we are pleased to be joined by Paradox here, the support player from this team. Hey, congratulations on the victory here tonight, securing your spot in that grand finals, man. How does it feel?
You know, for the third time in the row, putting Mental Institution down. It's all right, you know. Looking forward to the next match.
Yeah, and with the one big thing this week was we got that season 14 patch. A lot of stuff has changed. Well, a lot really hasn't, but we're seeing a lot more variety in the comps right now. Was that something that you guys have been kind of messing with a lot, or have you guys just been running your own thing throughout this entire playoffs?
Yeah, we've just been kind of playing Brick Juno. Our last scrim was maybe like 2 months ago. So, yeah, we've just been running Brick Juno, and since we can't play Hazard in the playoffs, I mean, I don't think he's meta anyways, but since we can't play him in the playoffs, we're just gonna play Brick Juno again because they didn't touch it in last patch, so.
So, I know you guys are confident in yourselves and we're expecting to win this match, but honestly, did you guys expect to come in here and, Kings Row aside, just come in and absolutely dominate 3-0 like this? Like, I kind of figured you guys might win, but man, that was a blowout.
Yeah, I knew we were gonna take 2 maps. The second we got to King's Row, I saw my teammates pick heroes, and I knew that it wasn't gonna be an easy fight. But yeah, well, it's just because we're trolling. That's the only reason it's close. And even then, we still managed to win when in a fight that we realistically should have lost. So.
Oh yeah, legitimately, we're sitting here like, yeah, they're just feeling themselves at this point. Like they're
Yeah,
just.
no, I wanted to play DPS, but it was gonna like mess up all the the stuff. So I was just like, I'm just gonna lock on and we'll play fucking Genji Nano Blade.
Alrighty, so next up, you guys get to go up against Short Bus in the grand finals. We both watched that incredibly thrilling 3-2 series in the winners finals. How do you guys feel about going against Short Bus again? And should we expect the same kind of series in the grand finals?
Honestly, I think if we're still playing this meta, if it's just still Brig Juno and you can't run other comps, it seems like the ultimates and everything, they're just still overpowered and the characters are just overpowered. So like if we go back to this meta again versus Short Bus, I 100% think we take it. There was like very minuscule flaws on the map that we should have won that would have like taken us 3-2 against them.
Mm.
And so like just rerunning those maps again, like the maps that we won, they weren't like holistically close. Like there were fights where like Short Bus looked like they could turn it and like they could win the map, but like overall the maps we won, they were just like set maps. Like we just took them by like milestones because they don't know how to play the comp properly. So.
Absolutely, man. But hey, throughout the series tonight, I mean, it seemed like we had a whole bunch of different people popping off. In your opinion, like who was that person that was just absolutely doing everything for your team here tonight?
Ooh, that's a great question. Um. Okay. Should I be real with you guys?
Yeah, let's hear
should
it.
I let you guys know the sauce? Okay, so every map that we played, we did not communicate with our support or tank player. Like Zen and Teggy, they just weren't in VC. It was just me and Raven talking. So honestly, like the person who probably just won us the game like every fight was just Turtle Boy because he's just on Tracer and he's like unkillable. So yeah, if Turtle Boy's on the battlefield, like you could just expect him to kill everybody. And shout out Zen. Zen plays a good diva, so.
Absolutely. But hey, you're already starting the shout outs, but we'll give you the floor now to shout out anyone or anything else that you would like to, man.
Um, let's see here. Who can I applaud on the enemy team? Who do I think ran that good matchup? I'm drawing blanks here. You guys got anything, or you guys got any highlights of anybody on the enemy team, or?
Uh, I really think of that final map for Mental Institution. Cap and Crunch really did do a lot on that Zarya to help to
Yep.
really give you guys a little bit of a challenge.
Yep, the Zarya May when we're on Ana Genji Diva. Yep, that was something. I mean, it made us go to OT, but that was about it.
Yeah, man. But hey, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night to come do this interview. We'll let you now go back with the people of with the rest of your team that's in the group chat to celebrate, man.
Thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good night.
Yeah,
You
you
too.
too.
Well, Ray, I mean, it was a great dominant series here for YE Snowfall, and you absolutely called it. They were starting to feel themselves a little bit on King's Row, making that map a lot closer than the other two that we saw at the start of this series. But still, I feel like Mental Institution really did find something there towards the end that gave that YE Snowfall team a run for their money.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see. What I'm looking forward to is this grand final. I know they're talking, like, oh, we won our maps decidedly. The other ones that they won, they were close. We can fix some things up. I'm just very excited for this grand final. I know there's probably going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of, maybe, BMing, shit talking back and forth a little bit. So I'm excited for this grand final, and whether I'm casting or I'm in chat, I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, I mean, their upper final was one of the best series that I think the playoffs has given us here, and this is the best of the best when it comes to console gaming here in NA. So it would not surprise me if this is a series that goes 7, and hell, I'll throw it out there, maybe even potentially 8, if we get a random draw. It's happened. But I think with it being a revenge match, they're looking to get that here. They feel very confident. But the one thing that surprised me is they said they haven't scrimmed in 2 months. I feel like they might get a scrim or 2 in here before that grand finals matchup, considering we have a new patch.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you haven't scrimmed in 2 months and you came out and dominated like this, I mean, my guess is, considering the game's has to be played by Sunday, I doubt it. So, well, we'll see. But that's going to conclude everything for this broadcast from both of us. Huge shout outs to Echo, Blizzard, and Orange, who are running everything behind the scenes. Thank you so much. We are able to do what we do because of you guys. And thanks to all of you guys in chat. I saw it was a very lively one. So thank you guys for tuning in and commenting and having some fun with us. And continue to watch out as CGL. We still got 6 more grand finals to be had. Tomorrow we have a losers finals coming out of the EU division. Make sure to tune into that and just continue to listen for the stream pings. And with that, it's been Dexatron joined by 2 Tryhard Ray, and we will see you at the next broadcast.